for me personally, I feel like almost there's a new refreshed desire for like a revamp in sports in the US because we've always had NFL, we've always had baseball, basketball, and now you see like MMA being a different sport that's now just bursting out of nowhere in the US. It seems to me almost like the US, they're now switching over to these new style of sports that's just gaining more traction and it's more appealing, and you're gonna start finding more talent like you are right now.
Yeah, thanks. So I think what we're seeing is the fans want action today. They don't want a slow game. They want a fast moving game. All of our attention spans are not what they used to be. And so everyone's enjoying a little shorter attention span. I think they want interaction. Social media is it in the United States today. And so if you have a league that is sensitive to the needs of and the wants of the social media crowd, and our players have their own followings and are very interactive with our fans, I think that's what's going to make our league really popular and fun. Because like we haven't played a game yet, Josh, and we've had over 7 million interactions on social media.
How many?
7 million.
Seven? Wow.
Yeah, so
Wow.
and that's before we've played our first game. And so we've from day one we wanted to make it interactive for our fans. We had a name the team contest for all of our cities, and so we had hundreds of thousands of entries of team names, and all of our team names that we have today were in large part selected by our fans. And so from day one, we've made them feel part of what we're doing, and we're communicating with them weekly and daily. And as we grow as a league, we're going to make them feel part of that growth.
That's awesome. That's incredible. 7 million. That's incredible. That shows already that there is a demand for something that's going to be more fast-paced action pass, such as lacrosse, because like you say that you already have the emphasis on social media and considering how favorable Reels on Facebook, Instagram, I could see where you're able to capture like just like 40, 50-second shots of a lacrosse game, that peak time, throw it on social media, and then boom, you have massive engagement like that.
Yeah, and we're very fortunate that our social media team is literally the major league team of social media. They sometimes we can't keep up with them because they're so creative, and every day I put my phone on or look at my computer, they're just knocking my socks off with something new. So, and that's what we're trying to do is new content, fresh content, and if it's knocking the founders off their socks, and hopefully our fans are enjoying it as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And now to kind of pick your brain with it, because it kind of popped up in my head with the draft. How does that whole process work? Like the behind the scenes aspect of it.
Well, it's been fun to watch our coaches, and again, I think what level of league you have when you see the level of research and preparation your coaching staff does going into a draft. And every one of our nine coaches, um, man, they use their resources, whether they're friends, the national statistics of collegiate players, statistics of pro leagues, summer leagues. There's a lot of stats online. A lot of our coaches have been involved in the game for years, and so they have a network of other coaches and scouts that are always feeding them information for players. Once word got out that our coaches are involved in the league, they were going to all the resources to put their preparation together for the draft. And we wanted a good mix of players, in our league. We wanted, there's an outdoor league, the PLL, which has an outstanding brand of lacrosse. We certainly wanted players from there. We have the NLL, and players that have been trying to crack the NLL for years, and maybe as Americans couldn't quite crack a steady lineup. We wanted those players. We had a very talented group of indigenous players who have been playing box lacrosse since they've been born, and we wanted an indigenous to make their mark in our league as well. So when you saw the draft unfold and guys are putting their teams together, I was just clicking them off one by one, saying, "Wow, these coaches have done their homework." And they've all built their teams a little bit differently, and they've had a philosophy and how they think they can win the league. Until we start playing games, we won't know who's going to be the most successful. But all I can say is, each team is going to have a very distinct personality and a mix of players, a little bit different from the next. And every one of them is going to be extremely exciting. We had a preseason game last weekend between Elmira and Syracuse. And even though it was a preseason game, the two coaches prepared for this game because there weren't many preseason games before the start of our season. And neither team wanted to lose the game. And so that game was played like a playoff game. The intensity and the hard hitting and the movement up and down the floor. It was a close game. I think the final score was 12-9, but it was a 1-goal game for most of the entire game. And I said, wow, for a preseason game, this is amazing. If our fans get a load of this every week, what a great league we'll have. And it's just an indication of the commitment of the players and the coaches and the preparation they've done. So we've built our teams through very talented coaches who've worked really hard to do this.
Nice. That's incredible. That's awesome. Yeah, and I've had, I used to live in Phoenix, Arizona as well, and I used to train at an MMA gym out there because I'm a big fan of MMA and I participated myself. While I was there, I ended up coming across a lacrosse player that started training there, and he started training because the COVID lockdowns stopped the sport, so he wasn't able to participate. But when I was just training with him and rolling, he had a natural athleticism. He was very strong, and I could tell like immediately from wrestling with him that he was an athlete, that he had played some sport at that point. And I forget all that he was giving me details on with him in lacrosse, but it was like the same exact way that you're explaining. It's just nonstop, constant pack action. You need the cardio, you need the conditioning, you need the ability to just get the job done.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the other thing that the fans will just be amazed. So they're already great athletes, without a stick in their hand. And they have to run up and down the floor. They have to have stamina. They have to have physical strength to take the hitting that goes on in the game. But then you add the element of putting a stick in their hand and what they can do with this stick and with the ball while they're running at full speed, while they're changing directions, while they're getting hit and cross-checked or slashed. Certain levels of that is legal. The stick skills that the fans will see will just make their eyes pop out of their heads because it's incredible, and they do it in tight spaces. And so all I can say is it's so hard to describe how fun it is. You have to come out and see it for yourself to really believe what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Hey, one of these times in the future, you're gonna have to have an event here in Arizona, so that way us on the West Coast can go and check it out.
Well, we have the Jim Thorpe team, and the Jim Thorpe team is part of the league growth, is doing a little barnstorming. So some of their games are going to be played at neutral sites. So we are looking for a couple neutral sites. Who knows? We may end up in Arizona, maybe not this year, but next year. And that's one of the cool things that with the Jim Thorpe, ode to diversity. They're our road team. They've got some home games, but they're playing on the road to grow the game, show the indigenous culture and the diversity of the team, and maybe coming to a market near you.